Good evening. Welcome to the show. You're watching Seeing the Unseen. Your host is Christopher Laprath, and my name's Kenan, his son and the producer of the show. I do a little introduction for you here and then turn it over to Christopher for the show. But first off, I just want to say for anyone joining us the first time, just say something in the chat so we know you're here. We're happy to do a reading for you for free for the first time, but we just need to know you're here to be able to do that. So don't be shy. Feel free to say something, and then after the first time, it's just $10 a reading going forward, or you can do $100 for the whole month and get a reading for every single show that we do, which is 3 times a week. So it's a pretty sweet deal. But yeah, I've just got a couple of quick points before I turn it over, and it has to do a little bit with the title of the show this evening, which is Agoraphobia. And it's an interesting concept, right? Because it has to do with this fear of these large spaces. And personally, I've experienced a lot of contraction and certainly fear in my life. And one of the ways that I adapted as a young man was I took up smoking, right? Which was a really interesting habit, right? And for all the good and bad that it did me, it was an educational experience, we'll put it that way, right? And one of the things that I learned was that in the process of smoking, taking a drag and breathing in, that process of taking that deep breath was energizing me. And that there was really not just the coolness that came out of smoking, but there was this awareness of like what was happening with the energy in my body as I was taking this deeper breath. So an important thing to understand is that breath is life, and that our breathing controls our mind, and how we're breathing controls our state of mind, right? So I've got a couple of quick breathing exercises to talk about, but really no matter what exercises you do, it's important to understand just where your focus is, right? And there's a lot of talk about just focusing on your breath, but while that's happening, a lot of times thoughts will come in. And a good tactic is to just get curious about those thoughts. Say, hey, is this helpful right now? Is this really in my best interest? Like, sometimes not so much. But no matter what thoughts come up, we just let them pass through onto the next thing. And I've said before, but I'll bring it up again because it is a powerful tool. It's a common practice in therapy, but it's called a box breath, and it's called that because it's nice and square. What we do is breathe in for 4 seconds, count of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it for 4 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then exhale. You guessed it, for 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds again. And you can change that ratio however you like, depending on your lung capacity. The longer you make the breaths, the more effective the exercise will be. But essentially, that will activate the parasympathetic nervous system in a very direct way by taking those longer exhalations and the pause, especially between the inhale and the exhale, and a comfortable pause between the exhale and the next inhalation is a good thing to do as well. That's where a lot of the magic is. So with that, I'll turn it over to Christopher for the evening, and thanks for listening. Enjoy the show.
Thanks so much, Kenan. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your contributions. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Laurel. Thank you, Austin, for paying that month for May. I really, really appreciate it. It does so help the show keep going. But it's also very important with this energy exchange. And it's a reward for your contribution to be able to invest in yourself. And that doing that step in itself is a huge expansion. But what I wanted to talk about tonight is, first of all, I want to thank the sponsors, Tony, the Fleece Agency, for their sponsorship, and also Brick Road Coffee. Thank you very much. Appreciate your sponsorships. Also, all of your contributions that helps keep the show going. But what I'm excited about tonight is I'm planning a trip, and I want to invite you all on it. I've been reading about this place for many, many years, and I've actually been there like many times, so I can speak to it personally. Highly, highly recommend it. The accommodations are all 5-star. The ocean views are endless. The expanse, the just being able to see out and see beyond is just such an incredible experience. And it doesn't cost hardly anything. And it doesn't take much time. This destination, I call it new realizations. These aha moments. And they come at the most unexpected time, and they don't cost anything. But what it does is it opens up your life. It opens up this expansion with these vast oceanic views of yourself, of the situation, and it moves you forward. So, are you okay with open spaces? So the title of the show tonight was Agoraphobia, ? Which is a fear of open spaces. Now, I don't mean that just literally. I'm talking about it in a spiritual, emotional, mental sense. I didn't realize that I was agoraphobic. I didn't realize that, let's say, when I was in this religion, that I could not think outside the box. I was afraid to think outside the box. And it's not just religion. It can be people in abusive relationships. It can be people in a horrific job or career that they hate. It can be anything like that limits our vision or closes us in. And so I'm not saying to instantly make the decision and make the change right away, but I am saying praise yourself if agoraphobia affects you in any way, shape, or form, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. I am saying, hey, let's open the curtains and let's start looking out. And then maybe, hey, let's crack the door. Oh, and then how about we get on Amazon and we order some tennis shoes? Now, we don't have to wear them. All we're doing is ordering them. Okay? But all of that gradually prepares the brain for this safety, for this expansion, to break those bonds of agoraphobia. And then the benefit of that is once you are outside and you're in expansive new places with new realizations coming in, you never long for, oh gosh, I wish I was back in that house with the closed curtains and closed doors, and central air and cats and lots of cats. You don't go back there. And nor do you want to go back there. So that's the point of this show. That's why these contributions mean so much to me, because they mean so much to you, and that you're investing in yourself. You're investing in this trip, these new realizations, these aha moments. I have to share, if any of you were on the show last night, Lana, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but my cousin Lana, up in Idaho. Okay. If you remember the reading, I was like, I don't know what bluegill are, but there's this thing with bluegill, and then I was talking about her taking her grandkids out on the boat and camping like in a cove. Yesterday at 7:09 p.m. after the show, 9 minutes after the show, I want to read this to you. When you read for me, it's as though you're reading my mind. Today, Mark went fishing with me. Mark is her son. He caught a 1-pound camaloop, which is like, they're huge fish. They're beautiful. On our way home, he said that the bluegill crappie are biting under the Lignite Bridge. And I said it would be perfect to take my great-grandchildren to fish for them. We also talked about going camping on Lake Pend Oreille with our boats, tying up at Whiskey Rock or at campgrounds at Cape Horn, the old Farragut Naval Base harbor. And I was like thrilled. That was like amazing. So these new realizations and actually then just following through or getting validation. You know, Lindsay, a couple months ago when that Jaguar card came up and you had just bought a Jaguar, an actual statue of a Jaguar, those things are like enlivening to know that Spirit, God, the higher self, source, however you term it, knows your details. They know what's going on in your life. And if you're ready for new realizations, they're going to book your trip. They're the trip planners. The Spirit, these angels, these guides, envision what it is you want. Like Lana even talking about how fun it would be to go fishing for bluegill crappie. It just makes me laugh. That gave me so much joy. But to live in these new realizations with you is amazing. So I wanted to share that with you. And are you willing right now to release all fear of being overwhelmed? Because that's really what agoraphobia is this releasing the fear of being overwhelmed and the fear of stepping from the known into the unknown. And you're going to be okay. You are okay. In fact, you're great. You're really great. And then what Kenan mentioned. Thought does not control breath. So if I told you all right now, okay, everybody, the show's going to last about an hour. Just everybody hold their breath for an hour. What? No. Breath controls thought. So what Kenan was talking about is this box breath. So just everybody take a deep breath to the count of 4 with the inhale. So hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Do that a few times. And you'll find that if you're having these random race car thoughts, the breath will control your thoughts. Okay? Thoughts do not control the breath. Breath controls the thoughts. So, keep that in mind and know that you have control over your thoughts. And if you need a little help, do that breath work. Okay, group card tonight. Inner Earth. Base chakra, strength and security, laying foundations. And again, Kenan and I come up with the topics that we want to talk about, and then we pull the group card. And it's always so synchronistic. Trust the synchronicity in your lives. Life may take a right turn. When you think you're just going forward and you're going on, all of a sudden it takes a right turn. But what you didn't know is if you'd stayed on that straight path, the road had been washed out. So trust the right turn or trust the left turn. Trust these ins and outs that life offers us and know that we're being directed. So that's what this card is about. But more importantly, it is about grounding. The base chakra, they call it the chakra that's around your tailbone area, the creation area, governs the physical world and all of its lessons. So even in yoga, you can YouTube or Google exercises to ground your base chakra and to know that you're safe in this world and you're safe in the next world. Okay? You're just period safe. Because that will help you to open up to new realizations and to leave your mental, emotional, agoraphobic cabin. I took some notes here, so I want to share some of these notes with this card because I love this card. It is the tree root system and how deeply those roots stretch into the earth. This is my blessing for you, is to have these roots really grounded in who you are. There is no one else like you on this planet. There never will be anyone else like you on this planet. Okay? Become aware of what it is that you actually need in order to feel safe and what you came here to do. And it will be revealed to you. That is the group card. So congratulations, everybody. That is a phenomenal message for all of you, for all of us. Kenan too. Okay, we're on for the show. Who's on first?
That's awesome. You don't have, we'll light the incense first and foremost.
Yeah, you know what? I get excited. Thank you, Kenan.
Oh, yeah,
He's the producer. So thank you for reminding me to light the incense.
So then we got John is on first.
Thank you, John. John actually reminded me to light the incense.
Well, Laurel did too.
Laurel did too. Yeah. Thank you, Laurel. So, with the breathing exercises, this lighting of the incense, just the fact that you take a moment to light the incense and you look at the fire and how fire burns what no longer is needed. So the burning of the incense is moving away from your life what no longer serves you to your best and highest, which includes old thoughts, old belief systems about yourself and your world. That is what causes that agoraphobia. So bless this incense to move you to new realizations, okay? Okay, John's on first?
You got it.
Okay. So if you're new to the show, what I do is I shuffle through the cards until a card falls out. Oh, hey, John. Your higher self, your guides, just picked a card. Ace of Swords. Crown Chakra. Taking a stand. Going for what it is you want. And when you have a strong, this is all of you, I bless all of you with this strong constitution, a strong mental connection, emotional, spiritual connection with Source, because you are Source. And to understand that a photon, one of the smallest existing particles, is both a particle and a wave. So when I talk about you connecting with Source, you actually are Source. It's almost impossible for the human mind to grasp that something can be a particle and a wave, but it is. Okay? Science has proven it. It just is. They know it is. You are source and you're an individual. Same thing. It's like you're a particle and you're a wave. But this is when you have a big sword, people don't mess with you. They don't challenge you. And the less you challenge yourself, or the less you question yourself, or the less you put down yourself, the bigger your sword gets. And over time, people just stop messing with you. They don't necessarily, I'm not talking about a literal sword, but there's something about your spirit. Okay? They can tell that you are John Wayne toilet paper. And you all of you have heard me say this. John Wayne toilet paper does not take the crap off of anybody. But you don't have to broadcast it. You just have to walk silently like John Wayne, right? So, John, this card is taking your stand, and more people are going to be recognizing who you are without you broadcasting it on Facebook or social media or whatever. They just simply see you for who you are. So it's a great reward for you to be coming into your own power. Also, I'll call you on this one, but it's a little bit more involved. So I'm going to go back to this illustration of agoraphobia, John, and for all of us on the show. When you have agoraphobia, you order food like Uber Eats, or you have food delivered to you, and you're very limited to what kind of food you can eat because only certain restaurants will deliver. And it limits your ability to go really out and explore in different parts of the world and eat different types of food. I'm just using this as an illustration. So as your brain builds, as you move out of the agoraphobia, more experiences will come to you. And it's okay for you to be free of defining them. Okay? Because that unknown is the unknown, and to be okay with the unknown without trying to define it. But these are downloads, and all of us are going to be getting more and more downloads. Give me a call. If you need somebody to bounce them off of, contact somebody else on the show. Talk to them. It's understanding that these are coming down. Okay, who's next?
Nice, it's Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay. Again, thank you so much, Lindsay, for your contribution. And I think my phone's been kind of dinging, so I know a couple more have contributed. Lindsay, one of my favorite shows is the Antiques Roadshow, where people have had these artifacts in their home for years, generations sometimes. And they're worth millions of dollars. And they've had them all the time, right? They've had them up in the attic or in the garage. Or you go to a rummage sale, right? And you buy this painting that happens to be by a master that's worth $1 million. This is the fortune card. And I love this, that at the beginning of the show, you pull the fortune card. All right. Take the word fortune. Break it down into two words. What two words do you see? F-O-R, for, tune, T-U-N-E. Fortune. It's tuning into this fortune and what that fortune would do for you. It's not, the brain doesn't really latch on to money, okay? But what money can do, it can latch on to. So, I was using that illustration at the beginning of the show about this 5-star hotel with endless views of the ocean. What is it that lights you up? Focus on that feeling and know, absolutely know it's going to come. No, it's going to come. Know it, K-N-O-W, K-N-O-W, K-N-O-W. No, it's there. It's there for you, and focus on that feeling of having it. And be unattached to how it comes about. So, do you want to stay home more? Do you want to devote your life to art and painting? There will be serendipitous events that happen. And you'll trust. You will just trust. Like last weekend, I went to this show, a random seminar about screenwriting. Met these amazing people that now want to help me. It's those type of things that are coming your way. And know it. Know it. And hold for 4. Breathe in for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Okay, here we go.
Next is Austin.
Hey, Austin. Oh, and there you go. Great card. People go, wait, the failure card's a great card? Yes. Because it allows you to look at your lessons. And are you looking at your successes, or are you looking at your failures? And the failures are simply the way to get the actual lesson. It's what I was talking about last night, about your happiness. You can't make anybody happy. You can't make anyone unhappy. No one can make you happy. No one can make you unhappy. If you're looking for happiness outside yourself, you'll never find it. But if there's happiness within you, then that attracts the happiness more so. One of the, you can look this up, is the spiritual benefit of peacock feathers. Is when I have sage, when I have incense, when I have the peacock feathers, you first sage yourself. You first use incense on yourself, okay, all around yourself. Or you have peacock feathers, you understand the blessing of them and what they symbolize, what they represent. I would like you to do a little homework tonight or tomorrow. Look up peacock feathers, the symbolism of them, the benefit of them. Get some. And then you can actually bathe your aura with the peacock feathers. It's really a fantastic thing to do. And if any of you can get peacock feathers or know where to get them, or happen to be shopping and you find them, buy them. And everyone, it's not just Austin, I recommend doing homework, but every one of you look up the benefit of peacock feathers. This helps to get any subliminal, any unconscious thought of your worth out of your field. The incense, the sage, and the peacock feathers. Because I'm not talking about conscious thoughts. I'm talking about the unconscious. So that will help you do that in a very open way. Okay, who's next?
Great, it's Laurel.
Okay. Hey, Laurel. Boom. Queen of Wands. You've got what it takes. You're coming to a realization that you've got what it takes. Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no river wide enough. This is absolute, Laurel, expansion for you. Your daddy's wealthy. Give him a call. Have him bring it in. Lay it on me. Bring in the money. Give it to me. Give it to me now. And I'm not talking about your earthly father. I'm talking about bringing in this wealth and claiming your throne. This woman claims her throne. No apologies. None, no apologies. Being in your power, knowing how absolutely beautiful you are. Your soul is amazing. In fact, thank you for sharing this card. Can you pick out anybody on this show that has an ugly soul? No such thing. We've all chosen different bodies for a specific reason. So bless the body, you bless the soul. You bless the soul, you bless the body. Okay? It's the same thing as the physics of a photon, particle and wave. Okay? You bless that body, you bless that soul. And then go splurge on your hair. Okay. Who's next?
It's Doreen.
Hey, Doreen.
Says she's working and watching at the same time.
You're working and watching. And you're getting ready for a 5K and a 10K? Wow. That's pretty awesome. I know this is really random, Doreen, but have you ever thought of a salt and pepper shaker line? This is so strange. I don't know why this is coming up, but it is. It's like your guides. You have a lot of kind of Julia Child type of spirits around you. And they're talking about whimsical salt and pepper shakers and selling them. But so the seasoning you make, look at packaging them within a whimsical, oh my God, that's right. You just made this. So everyone, you're going to be able to buy Doreen's seasoning. She's an amazing chef. But package them into whimsical salt and, I don't want to call them salt and pepper shakers, but shakers. Okay? People will love it. Okay. The new season is called as Addicted AF. That's hilarious. I love it. Yeah, something that's fun. All right. Okay, who's next?
Yeah, Marilyn Pitts.
Hey, Marilyn. Marilyn Pitts. The Fool card. The Fool card is not the Fool, it's new beginnings. And so people stay stuck in agoraphobia because they're afraid to try something new because they might look foolish. That I think that's why they call it the Fool. Where you have people going, "Oh my God, you're not going to try that at your age. You're not going to do that at blah blah blah. You know, you don't have the training for that. What? You know, all these naysayers. This is blasting all the naysayers away. So just like you did when we talked about this with your private reading about clearing out the Whoopi Goldberg spirits, in the movie Ghost, there were a lot of spirits around you. Clearing that away. This is clearing away now the naysayers. And Marilyn, everybody on the show, can you give yourself a little credit? Look how far you've come. Look what you've accomplished. Are you willing to let go of comparing that to anyone else? This is your life. If you're still here on this show, you're not done yet. And even when you're not here on this show and you're maybe in the other plane, you're not done. There's something else to contribute. There's something more that makes you unique that you add. And this is getting rid of the naysayers. So any of us on the show that have had any naysayers or any of that energy around us, are we willing to blast that away? Woo! No naysayers, Marilyn. Okay, I'm so proud of you. Yes, you've been doing the work. That's wonderful.
I got Death Crusher, Dan.
Okay, Dan. Death Crusher. Okay, Dan. Remember I was talking about agoraphobia and you open the curtains and you go, well, I haven't made much progress. I just opened the curtains. Oh my God, you opened the curtains. You cracked the door. You ordered the tennis shoes online. You're making progress. You plant a seed. You don't go out the next day going, oh my God, the seed has failed because, it's not 10 feet tall. That's not how it works. Give yourself, you've planted the seed. There's something happening. There's something growing. Bless it with your energy. Bless it with your positive energy. And it will grow. It will create greater. And claim your greatness. So this is very much like Laurel. As I've said before, yes, I pull a card for each one of you, but it applies to all of us. So sometimes I refer back specifically to, like, say, Laurel's card, where it's taking the crown, taking the throne, claiming it and being it. Okay. All right.
Diane's on next.
Okay, Diney. Thank you for being here. Okay. This card is never about what it says, but it is the death card. It is big, bada boom changes that are needed. So don't grieve the old couch being thrown away. It's done. No, there's a new couch coming in. Okay? There's some big changes that are here and now. Just roll with them. Because this is very similar to the new beginnings. And people are always like, yeah, yay. I'm getting new furniture, but then they don't think about what it's going to take to get rid of the old. I had this old couch here. And I'm like, I don't know how to get it out of this condo. It's an upstairs condo with a stairway that curves. Anyway, I actually had, I made several phone calls and I had people be able to come and get it. So you don't think about, you think about the new thing that's coming, but sometimes it's uncomfortable to make the changes that are necessary and actually go for what it is you want. But it's the death of the old way so the new way can come in. Okay. Hey, Lanny. What a great reading last night. I love that. Thank you for texting me. This is happiness. This is Harley coming through. And he's doing this. He's shaking his head. And it's kind of shaking his head in disbelief. Like, who even are you? But looking at the absolute happy times. And that you made his life absolutely happy. I'm not sure why that's coming up in this message for tonight, especially, but it helped him move on into a better place. Because when people are at a certain level of understanding, just because they die doesn't mean that they go to a fantastic place. Sometimes it's very gradual, but you helped him move into a much happier, stable place so that when he did cross over, he could move into that space there. Not a lesser space or not the same space, but a space of great happiness. And he's talking about wedding pictures. I don't know if you've been looking at wedding pictures recently or, but he was there. He's there. Okay. Okay, Abby in Maryland. South Carolina representing Abby in Maryland. Going to see you in a few weeks. I'm going to pull a card here, or actually your higher self's going to pull a card. Your mission, should you choose to accept. This is the Hermit card. And the three-headed dog was the guardian of death, the guardian of the gates of death. And there's it's about your ability to help people cross over, a lot like Marilyn Pitts did with her life for 30 years. It's similar to that, but it's having an absolute understanding. So this understanding is going to be coming to you more and greater, Marilyn, with helping people cross over safely, comfortably, and being this messenger for the people they've left behind. So Marilyn Pitts told me the story, and I want to repeat it. So she had texted me this story, and it's Marilyn Pitts' story. But I think it's really appropriate because Marilyn had this patient and in hospice, and the patient was one day just started with his hand way up in the air, started doing this. And the family's like, what is he doing? And Marilyn's like, I don't know. The next day he was down here. The next day he was down here. And the next day he was down here. And the next day he passed away. And Marilyn wrote, she was telling me, she said, the family realized that his hobby, this gentleman's passion, was painting lawn gnomes. And he would always start at the top of the lawn gnome and paint down. And he was really upset that he had to go to hospice because he had a lawn gnome that he hadn't started, so he hadn't finished it. So what he was doing is he was actually painting the lawn gnome as he was working his way down. Now, whether he was really painting it, I don't know. But in his mind, that was the important thing. But it's stories like that, Marilyn, and it's who you are and who your source is that can connect with other people's source who have gone through loss to help them. Okay. Abby, Bobabby, Fee Fi Fo Fabby, Abby. We've got the abundance card. Thank you. Abundance for everybody. You get abundance, and you get abundance, and you get abundance. This is an abundance card. This is not just abundance mentally, physically, emotionally, but also financially. And you bless it. So the gurus, the teachers, the monks that live in India and Tibet, they are very, very particular about who cooks their food. They get someone of the highest vibration to prepare their food because they're ingesting it. Every piece of food that you take, you bless it. You absolutely bless it. And this is the reason I'm bringing this up is everything you touch, everything that comes into vision, everything that you see, bless it. Thank it. It's like your ability, Abby, has been from a little faucet that's gone drip, 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 drip to water other people to a freaking fire hose. Right? This is the fire hose, and this is what we're all capable of. So thank you for drawing this card and this abundance card. So when you're focused on abundance, that's what happens. So it's like Lindsay's card with the fortune. Fortune. It's like tuning into, being tuning into that life, that ability, and it's creating it. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, so next is Geo and Kat.
Hey, Geo and Kat. So, Jared, Dr. J. One of my favorite movies is called Shakespeare in Love. They immediately showed me this movie when I'm talking to you about this card. Okay, so we just got the abundance card. We just got the gain card. And I'm not talking about the laundry detergent. I'm talking about gain. This is so amazing that these two cards fell out together. But Shakespeare in Love, let me go back to that movie. Shakespeare was going to perform this play in this theater. The movie is about this. Highly recommend everybody watch it. Great movie. But Shakespeare's main guy, the debt collectors are after Shakespeare, and so Shakespeare's in hiding. But they catch them. They catch Shakespeare's friend, and they go, "You pay us. You owe us. You are behind. You're like blah blah blah." And this guy says to him, played by Jeffrey Rush. Love Jeffrey Rush. Jeffrey Rush says, "It's all going to work out." And the debtors go, "Really? How is it going to work out?" And Jeffrey Rush says, "I don't know. It's a mystery." You move forward. You move forward. I'm going to relate to another movie, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, where he steps out over that chasm and the bridge appears. There is divine providence. There's one thing about teaching and preaching and going to church and hearing about divine providence and God will provide and blah 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 blah. That's like tuning into television or radio while you're an agoraphobic in a 500 square foot space. You can hear it all the time, but it's actually going out, stepping outside the door and looking at this abundance and looking at how the pathway appears as you step on it. So, Jared, how can you think bigger? And I'm going to ask this question not just to Dr. Jared. I'm going to ask it to everybody. Universe, show me now how I can think bigger. Show me now. Okay, Kat. This is so funny, Kat. I pulled this card years ago for a husband and wife. They live back east in North Carolina area. And I'm like, well, you're moving west. But her husband wasn't. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just relaying the message. And they're like, what? 2 weeks later, the wife calls me and she's laughing hysterically. She goes, I got a new job. Pay is double. Guess what the name of the company is? I said, I don't know. She goes, West Incorporated. She actually did move west. But it was beyond my frame of, like, I just relayed the message. But how Spirit was interpreting it was completely different than I was seeing it or how she was seeing it. Or especially her husband was like, what do you mean she's moving west without me? Also, just about 3-4 years ago, well, it's been 3.5 years ago, some executives flew in from other parts of the country, and they fly in every year, and I give them a reading. We usually go to Sedona. And I'm pulling these cards, and I'm like, are you guys, is your company, are you planning like a masquerade ball? And they're like, no. And I go, well, I don't understand. Why is everybody wearing masks? Because I didn't have the, like, you know what I mean? I couldn't see the COVID. I couldn't, not that I couldn't see it, but it was beyond it was like, wow, a worldwide epidemic. Okay. My point of telling you this card, Kat, is there is something that is on the horizon that's big and it's beautiful and it's west, but it's beyond my describing it to you. Like I can say, okay, okay, Kat, you're moving west, but it's not that. It's something else that is beyond what we're seeing now. But it's good. It's really good. But it's keep your chin up. Keep your chin up. It also helps your posture. Okay, who's next?
Last is Vicky Smith.
Hey, Vicky. Thanks for being back. So, Vicky, and there are a few nurses on the show. Their doctor on the show. So you're aware of being very, very conscious when you are around needles. You handle them very carefully, and you're always mindful of where they're at. And so get rid of the people in your life that are needling you. They're wanting to contaminate you. So this is claiming your own goodness and changing professions. I don't know where that came from. Well, I do know where it came from. This is about you changing professions, but really claiming your goodness and your right to be here, your right to claim it, a right to bring in more money and greater. Without the need to perform. Nothing wrong with working hard. But if your belief is that the only way to make money is to work hard, then it limits the universe. It contracts the universe. It's fine to work hard. It's great. But how else can it come in? How else can this money come in? Open this up after this reading tonight. You'll start noticing an expansion. Okay, the curtains parting, the door cracking, the shoes arriving from Amazon. Anyone else that's watching that would like me to pull a card, I'm here for you. Say hello in whatever chat that you're in, whether it's Twitch or Facebook or YouTube. I'm here for you. Love you all. Now, remember, we're not doing a show on Wednesday. We're going to move it to Thursday, okay? We're going to move it to Thursday night, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And great, great love to you all. Thank you all for your contributions. And I'll send you a personal message. I know I've been hearing my phone ding for your monthly subscription or your monthly contribution. Thank you. Thank you. And I know Lindsay, Laurel, Austin, thank you. That's the ones I've seen so far. And so I'm going to give you a pay it forward thank you if I haven't seen it yet on my phone. So great blessings to you. We'll see you Thursday night. Take care.